Hello again. In this instalment of Spiritual Wisdom, I'm grateful to all of you who follow me here, all of you who have been here for a while. My wise followers, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Nicholas, and on my channel I talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, self-love, manifestation, and all matter of spiritual topics. So if you're new here, and you're interested in spiritual things, manifestation, this is the channel for you. Please subscribe, join this amazing community that I'm trying to create here on YouTube, and click the bell icon so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. Now, if you're new, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome. Today I'm going to be sharing 4 tips with you to become an abundant person. Now, when it comes to manifesting financial abundance, there are so many techniques, so many methods, and also when it comes into manifestation, there's so many techniques and methods. There's not one size fits all when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to spellcraft, and even in life in general, there's not all one size fits all really. So, but really, a lot of these tools, what I'm going to be sharing with you, it's more you already have the tool. So your mind is the tool you're born with. Your mind can be your friend, your ally, but at the same time it can also be your worst enemy. It depends what you feed your mind. And also meditation, breath work, these types of things can help sort of control your mind in a sense. And the way to sort of control the mind is not necessarily controlling it, but using mindfulness and discernment when it comes to the mind. Using mindfulness and discernment, being mindful of your thoughts as well, because our thoughts create a reality. So with the principle of manifestation, light attracts light, so negative thoughts are going to attract negative experiences, and also there are certain negative spirits and beings that like to feed on your dark thoughts, and everything is energy. So that's not to scare anyone, that's just a spiritual reality. But the first step to becoming abundant is changing your money mindset. To think yourself as rich and wealthy. A lot of us, because of our background, societal influences, where we've came from, a lot of us look at money as a struggle. We look at it as a burden, we look at it as something hard to come by. But with spirituality, with manifestation, it's retraining our mind. It's saying things like, money comes to me easily, effortlessly, abundantly. We feel we have to really work hard and really work ourselves to the bones to get money. We don't. And we can make money very abundantly as well. But it starts up in the mind. Change your mind, change your world. I've said that before and it's so true. So the first step to becoming an abundant person, financially abundant, is changing your money mindset. See yourself, think yourself abundant, wealthy, and in divine time it will be so. How you think it will always come into some type of existence. Now the second tip, which and also listening to positive. So you could make this a daily ritual where here on YouTube there's amazing people to listen to, and then later on the channel I'm going to be coming up with affirmations what you can listen to as well. But listening to affirmations and then doing the second step to becoming abundant is listening to an affirmation or several affirmations for 21 days. But finding an affirmation type of channel here on YouTube you really like, listening to positive statements, and then just doing it for 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes you're going to listen to positive affirmations. You're going to, for 5 minutes, visualize. Now, being wealthy, being successful, this looks different for all of us. So again, it's so important to focus on just for 5 minutes in your mind. Visualize yourself being wealthy, being successful, being where you want to be, and visualize it in the sense you've already achieved your financial goal. You already are wealthy, you already are abundant, you're living a wealthy and abundant life. See it as if it's a reality, what's already happened, what you've already experienced it, and you're grateful for it. And then once you get into that realm of visualizing for 5 minutes, if you struggle with visualization, the alternative is you can talk it into yourself. In your mind you could say, I'm surrounded with wealth, I've got so much in the bank account. If you can't visualize it, talk it into your mind. So that's the visualization part of it. When it comes to the feeling part of it, if you were wealthy right now, if you were wealthy, you had £10,000, £25,000, it's a lot of money. But the key with manifestation is, if it's as simple as, if you can imagine it, you can dream it, you can bring it into existence. It's as simple as that. So it's like visualizing it, then stirring up that feeling. How would it feel if you were very wealthy, very abundant? How would that feel? Stirring up those feelings, those emotions as well. And then you the fourth tip would be to stop using the word cheap and dear. Now yes, these words do exist, you can spell them, but in my reality they don't exist, because if you were an abundant person, if you had £25,000 in the bank, or you had £10,000, £65,000 in your bank account, you're not going to be using words like cheap or dear. You're just going to be going, you feel wealthy, you feel abundant, you're just going to be looking at, is that object a tenner? Is that object £15? How much does it cost? You're not going to be looking at life through the lenses of cheap and dear. And cheap and dear are just labels that box you in. And it's not positive to use those words. So that's why if you're trying to manifest wealth and abundance, stop using the words cheap and dear, because they box you in, and they make you think, well, I can only afford cheap things, or things that you think are cheap, you can only afford them. And then things like cruises, big holiday, luxury items, you may look at those things as dear, and then your mind will look at those things are out of reach. So that's why I would encourage not using the words cheap and dear, because those words are just marketing labels anyway, to give people an illusion. And when it comes to buying things, buying products, buying items, me and my sister were talking about that the day when it comes to food adverts. They don't use real food. It looks good, the picture looks amazing, but when you get the product, you're disappointed. And it's the same with this cheap and dear thing. It's just illusions, a marketing ploy. But it's so important not to use that analogy of cheap and dear, because it boxes you in. It makes you think self-consciously, but the things you think are dear, it makes you think you'll never be able to afford them. So that's why I would encourage not using those words. And these 4 techniques are something we can all implement into our life. We can all think abundant thoughts. We can all change our money mindset. We can all visualize our desire, our outcome, our financial abundant life as if it's a reality and we're grateful for it. We can all do this. We can all sort of imagine, if you like, or bring up those feelings of being wealthy, being abundant. Because if you were trying to manifest a holiday, you'd be excited, you'd be a bit nervous, but you'd be more excited to go on adventure and full of anticipation as well. So it's the same type of thing. Just like if you won money, and I've manifested that with spellcraft for certain family members as well. If you won a certain amount of money, you'd be excited, you'd be over the moon. So it's imagining that, stirring up those feelings, and not using the words cheap and dear. So those are 4 steps to becoming an abundant person. There are many other techniques and methods to manifest, but this could be a daily ritual for you, where for 5 minutes of the day you listen to positive affirmations, you visualize yourself being wealthy, you think you bring up the feeling, you imagine what you're wealthy, and when you're out and about, you be very mindful of the words, and you be very mindful in conversations. So the more spiritual you become, the more you get into this manifestation journey, it's going to change your dialogue, it's going to change how you interact with other people as well. So spirituality, self-love, manifestation, it transforms your life in many ways. So you're not just achieving your dreams, it's also changing your outlook in life and your way of thinking, and opening your mind to possibilities and new concepts. So I hope the advice, these 4 tips, I hope they help you in becoming wealthy. And you could try these 4 methods. And when it comes to not using words like cheap or dear, remove those words and talk about yourself as if you are wealthy and abundant. Or, try and remove the words cheap and dear, and describe tip number 5, which is just an extra tip. Be grateful for the money you have, and that's going to attract more money. But the 4 main tips are those, and as I said before, how you think it, how you see it, how you feel it is how it will be. And that's basically these sort of 4 these 4 principles go into how you think it, how you see it, how you feel it, is how it will become. As always, sharing spiritual knowledge and guidance with you, and these tips, I hope they help you in your manifestation journey to become a wealthy and abundant person. Blessed be.